Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech habayis.
Amen.
Okay, shakayach everyone for joining. Good to see
Welcome
you.
back. You too. Yes. Good to hear.
Hilchos Sukkah, Rabbi say. Hilchos Sukkah.
And yes.
Fast approaching Sukkahs are saying that we're going to have the coldest weather we've had since yet. The night of Sukkot, the
Well,
first night.
they said the Alter Rebbe take off snow, right? On the Sukkot, one of the first.
The Baruch Hashem, we don't have to take off snow.
In Buffalo, about
Starting
50,
tomorrow.
15 years ago, snow, remember? On Sukkot, I think it was.
My grandfather told me he remembered his grandfather sitting in Ukraine in the sukkah, snow knee deep. Snow was knee deep,
That is the Yotzer the Marash.
right?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So let's take a look. I'd like to take a look first at the first sif, which is Simin Taf Reish Chaf Hei. Sukkah Taf Reish Chaf Hei. Sukkahs Heishvu Shivas Yomim. The man Yedu de Sechem by Sukkahs Hishafti Vehitzi Oisam Eretz Yisrael. Haim Hayu, this pasuk is referring to the Anani Hakavod, Anani Kvoide. This is a machlekes, Rabbi say, in Gemara. Machlekes in Gemara, whether it was literal sukkahs, roofs, or it was the Anani Hakavod. We take on the halacha that it was Anani Kvoide, Shikifam Bahem Litzel, Labal Yake Bahem Shrav, V'Shemesh. Shouldn't be very hot and humid. Therefore, we make sukkahs also that give us shade. Today, shenaskir nifla oisav v'nir oisav. Should remember the Abish is niflois.
It was being that he took us out of Mitzrayim, or both the Mitzrayim and the shade. What is the nipples for the flies there?
This niflois that he made with Anani HaKavod, that he made in the midbar. L'chein, tzarich kol adam l'chavin
Okay.
the shivasei the sukkah. The person needs to have kavana when he sits in the sukkah. Sheyosheba kidei l'kayim es HaKadosh Baruch Hu shetzvan leisha b'sukkah zeicher to what happened b'shas Yitzias Mitzrayim. Now, umitzvah l'saken ha-sukkah l'vneisa kula miyad l'machas im Acha Yitzia Mibeis HaKnesses on the day after Yom Kippur, after you leave shul. If you're able to do it right away, mitzvah habal liyadei al yachutzana.
No,
Now,
it's two things. Before he said you have to this guy and the flies from the Raisa. Here he's saying Zechel Tzim Mitzrayim. So which one is it, or is it both?
I would teach that Zeich Yitzias Mitzrayim means over here the sukkahs that the Nane cover that happened b'shas Yitzias Mitzrayim, not the etzem Yitzias Mitzrayim. The Nane cover that happened on the journey out. Now, I want to point out to you this thing that a person needs to have kavana, this unique kavana about why you're doing the mitzvah, we don't find this very often.
Mitzvah Zayin Tzvich Kavana, right?
Like when you do a secretary of the class.
Machlokes, whether mitzvah tzrichas kavana or not. By a deraisa, we say tzrichas kavana. By a derabanan, lechatchila kavana, v'diavad yoytzu al kavana. But this kavana is something else. There's two kavanas. There's a when we say the machlokes in Chazal, mitzvah tzrichas kavana or not, it's discussing, do you need to have kavana or that you're doing a mitzvah? Not about the reason why you're doing it, not the why. That I'm doing a mitzvah. Do I need to know I'm doing a mitzvah now? Or if I did it and I didn't realize I was doing a mitzvah, I'm still yoytza. By the way, so we pass in mitzvah sichas kavana, you need to have kavana that I'm doing a mitzvah. Why I'm doing a mitzvah? What's the reason why Hashem gave a mitzvah? That's another story that you're not commanded to know about. It's a good thing, it's an important thing, but it's not something that's a mitzvah that you need to know. Shas in the mitzvah, why you're doing it.
It's a bonus, but it's not the.
Yeah. Now, however, there's three exceptions to the rule. Achronim point out that Sukkah, Tefillin, and I think Tzitzis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tzitzis also. There are three
Exceptions.
exceptions that you should know the meaning, not just I'm doing a mitzvah in Torah now, but I should know why am I doing this? What's the kavanah behind it? And sukkah is one of them, like we see here, tzara kol adam l'chavin b'yeshiva, so you have to have kavanah, not just kedei l'kayim mitzvahs HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The kind of Baruch Hu tzivana leishav sukkah zeichas, and we don't find this by other mitzvahs. We don't find by other mitzvahs. This is a unique thing. This is l'chatchila. The Eved obviously is still yoytze, even if you didn't have that kavanah. That's why by tefillin, we have the kavanah that why Hashem commanded us to put on the Daled Parshas Elu to Kedei, the Shabbat, the Moyach, and the Leiv, and we should remember Ebsh's Yichud Hashem and the Koyach he has, B'Yonim and Tachtoinim, and took us out to Yisrael. These are all kavanah that Alter Rebbe writes about in the Siddur. And some people, when years ago, they started making like these little cars. You should have kavanah, but when you're putting until not just that you're putting on tefillin. Why are you putting on tefillin? It's obviously only the chatchila. With the Eved, if you didn't, you still yaitz in the mitzvah.
When you make the bracha, you're supposed to have the kavanah. When you sit in the sukkah, both. What is the primarily mitzvah here? When
That's yeshiva b'sukkah. Be yeshiva say b'sukkah. The best time is probably to do it is b'shach the yeshiva sukkah, because when you're going to really focus during the meal, there's a lot of good conversation going on and everything. So maybe some bikuchim going on. So the best time is by Shasta
but
Brach.
like Kiddush, we always say Zeichel is the master of orations. We always say that.
Friday night when you say Kiddush, you do say.
It's a big shiloh taka. Why by Kiddush? Say Zeichet Yitzrayim. What does happen there? Zeichel Ma'aseh Bereishis, fine. Ma'aseh Bereishis is 7th day. Zeichet Yitzrayim. The whole discussion about why we say Zeichet Yitzrayim.
It's all around.
Right. So that's one of the things is, by the way, one of the keys where it says the word Laman. Laman Yedu Deresechem. Meaning there's an Inyan Laman Yedu Deresechem. Part of the mitzvah is Laman Yedu Deresechem Kivesufah Kasei Shapti. So you have to remember Laman Yedu. Sheklar, it's not enough that you should just sit in the sukkah. Laman Yedu. You have to know why you're sitting in the sukkah. Sukkah is a Shabbos. So therefore, only by those mitzvahs it says Laman. That's those mitzvahs we say that you should also have. You also need minadin, chatchila, to have kavana as to why you're doing the mitzvah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The cloud, Hashem put the cloud on Bnei Israel,
Yeah.
and this is why. Sorry. We're making a sukkah. Now it was easy for Hashem, put the cloud cover. Well, why we have so many complicated? It's very hard to make a sukkah. So different requirements. Hashem, put like this, it's finished. Make it easy for us too.
He rested on Shabbos. It was easy, and he told us to rest on Shabbos. Lamites malachis.
Same question. It's the same question.
How do they say that sukkah is one of the easiest things to do?
It depends which areas, but it depends where you live.
In a famous story, someone had a sukkah, and the guy reported to the authority that he had a sukkah. It came down and said, "You have to give me at least a week notice to take it down." A week later, the sukkah was over. But
Yeah.
It's good. A lot of restaurants make a sukkah. And the city, they give you tickets if there's more than 7 days. So when they put it, they take it out. They don't get
Does the
tickets.
city have problem with the sukkahs on the streets and avenues?
They have, but they will not give you tickets if it's after 7 days they give you. I don't know. That's the law.
That's the law?
That's the law. 7 days.
They give you up to
Right?
7 days to have it. If you want to put a stand, people having sometimes in front of the store a table shows what they're selling. They're allowed to or not?
No.
The first 6 foot from
You get tickets?
The first 6 foot from your store, it's your property. You could do it. After the 6 foot, you get a ticket.
He gives the ticket to Blue River. But he put probably
if it's more than 6 feet, he put on both sides so people complain. I can't walk on the sidewalk. It's still pay for him to pay the ticket and sell more stuff.
But the sukkahs, let me say, does the government have any problems with putting up the sukkah?
It's a religious item, a religious
They know
thing.
that they know it's just temporary. They don't have an issue.
I know that when we had in Manhattan, that the call and they said you can build up. It's in more than 7 days, you get tickets.
But Sukkot
I
is
know.
more than 7 days.
They know, huh?
Sukkot is 8, 9 days, depends until you get after Simchas Torah, it's 8, 9 days.
Shabbos, you could get a ticket if they want. Not the same.
That's the law.
Depends when they saw you.
They called you up. They called up Mendy.
We call for Mendes, we call not me, the boss. We call the city. Manhattan, the more requirement, more people, more this. Here, but I think it's easier. I see every restaurant that is sukkah. The sitting
But they're not so aware of the sukkah idea. So they told you that what? 7 days?
More than 7 days. 8, 9 days. They don't come exactly.
Babatsky has a sukkah in the property of the library in Manhattan.
Oh,
yeah,
Huge sukkah.
Oh, in the library.
On the property of the library.
Probably asked for.
He puts in a park, Bryant Park.
It's like a park.
A lot of people going.
Yeah, they have a park adjacent to the Manhattan Library. That he gets special permission. He puts up
permission.
He puts up a huge sukkah, and so that's special permission
for people go. You know, eat something or make a walk.
Yeah, you need special permission. The reason why I'm asking is because it's not only important regarding the ticket. It's important at halacha. Halacha that you're not allowed to have a sukkah in karka gezula. If it's not your karka, you have no rishus, not a kosher sukkah.
but public property, what does public domain mean? Everyone has a right to it?
You'll have to walk there.
So that's the shaila over here when it comes to
if I
this.
decided to an Avenue J to put a chair and a table and start eating, police will come and say, get out of here. People need to walk over here.
What about the people at the stand with the Lulav Nesek now on J? It's all taken. They have to have a permit?
Yes, but officially they do have to. Sure.
They have signed 13th Avenue, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Like the people who sell flour and filing, they have permit to do it. Or people who sell this Chinese, Korean, all this food. They have because I pay rent for my store and you come and selling outside. It's not fair.
Well, what if someone goes in someone else's sukkah without his knowledge? Is he yoitza?
There is.
Yeah,
Are you saying you walked in? You didn't build the sukkah there.
Building a truck and stay
Using the sukkah, that may be different. Rabbi say, I want to now, let's take a look. Don't usually get to discuss these dinim. Let's jump to dinim of the actual halachas of sitting in the sukkah, not building the sukkah. Sitting in the sukkah is Taf Reish Lametes. Taf Reish Lametes.
1879.
Taf Reish Lametes, 639. Taf Reish Lametes. Yeah, I'm sorry, Simmons. Pasukais Teishvu Shivas Yamim Velamdu Mipi Hashmua Teishvu Ke'ein Taduru. Chazal learned out that it has to be Teishvu Ke'ein Taduru. You should sit in the sukkah like how you live in the sukkah. Keloimer Kederech Shudar Kol Hashana V'Beisei Iskikasei Toira Laniach Dirasei V'Ladar Kan B'Sukkah Imitoisav Matza'oisav Klei Tashmishay. Person has to come to leave his house, live in a sukkah, his bed, his sheets, everything. Kanan Ruchachamim Kol Shivas Hayamim Adam Oisa Sukbeisei Arei Usukasei Kva. Ketzad Oyeloi Matzois Nois V'Kelim Noim Mile on the sukkah. You have nice things, bring it to the sukkah. Penko klish siya tzrichim lo yima b'sukkah dereshim b'beisei b'chol hashana. A kelim shemashim and kemach. You set flour in it. Vareves, the kneading bowls. The kelim shemayim, the big barrels of water. They didn't have tap water. It's store water. Ein tzrichim li is b'sukkah. Sha'ap b'chol hashana and dvarim elo regin li is ime beisi rasei. You have a storage place. So bayis yeshlam belvadam for them. Siv beis ki achila achar achila and gdeiris v'kaira shachar and mu'usim. They're disgusting. V'tzarich leitzim and asukah. Chen dliya catch a shave mamayim. Leichnisim teich asukah. Don't bring in pails full of water that you into the sukkah. It's not the place for it. Chen lo yasa shum tashush bazui the sukkah.
Shouldn't bring the garbage can, I guess.
Stifas kederes, kind of washing dishes. They should yield of mitzvahs bezuyas alav. Al mutalisha kliyashtia. Cups is different. Koisis and Samsoni in the sukkah, that's okay. Hamanayda b'shashi delekes lichaslis b'tichas sukkah. The sukkah katana means shishlacha shemi skara v'nel defna sukkah oy laschach. Teiches ben ha'or v'tisaret v'sukkah tzarech licha chutz l'sukkah afilu yishal zav. Even if it's gold.
I was in the house in Williamsburg 30 years ago. The driver of Musadis came with my mother used to work, Aliyah Shalom. His son was here as a lot of big business. So he invited me. So I went in the kitchen, nice kitchen. He said, can you move a little bit and push this button? The kitchen moved, then he has another kitchen for Pesach. It's unbelievable. I was like this. It's
Where was the sukkah?
Huh?
Where was the sukkah?
In the house. Was the button
Well, during the week, I don't know.
My brother has a problem.
But one incident happened
But
to me.
Emmanuel, no? How did he do it on Shabbos?
Yeah.
When I used to live on the other house, I had a lot of people. So my sukkah was like 35, 40 people.
Wow.
So people used to come and see a lot of people. So I used to make second seating. So in 2.5 hours come, we do the whole thing again.
Wow.
So we did it a few times. For my wife was tough, cleaning everything. But we did it. People.
So the mice, he tried to bring, the menorah means your leichter. He tried to bring the leichter into the sukkah. If you can't, you can't.
You're dangerous.
If you don't have mucking for it.
It's dangerous. Kids running, kids.
No, it depends. If you have the space, some people they have a little table on the side, they light on in the sukkah. If you have a big enough table, you could put it in the middle. If you can't, you leave it in the house. It's in the house also. I have a tiny sukkah, so there's no room, but I put it in the window. I could actually see it from the
house.
From the sukkah. It's right on the porch directly off my dining room, so I could see from the dining room table, and it's right there.
You ever buy seats in the sukkah?
Yeah, everyone eats in the sukkah. The meal is sukkah together with the family.
On the table, little 9 by 13.
Even 9 by 13 would be taking up space.
I have so many white mixes from sukkah. I don't want my shoes at the car.
Maybe you could do a few, maybe like a small, something small. Parent can go out, there's a small table. But yeah, you try to mishtadel. If it's not a nice ner, it's a ner shel cheres, even you have a large sukkah, you don't bring it in. That's the minute.
Totally.
Kate, I'm she was sukkah, she oichel, b'shoyse, b'yoshin, b'yital, b'dor, b'sukkah, kol, shivas hayamim.
It says yoshin.
Yeah, maybe yoy, maybe malayla, kederech, shador, b'beisei, b'shayim eis hashana. Tzarech l'sapir m'chavei, has to talk with his chaver, he's sapir in b'sukkah. Kol yishadavar lo'ilim yidme lo'olav sukkah sekilu hi b'beisei, v'chol davar shalohoya oisa chutz l'beisei, v'yasa chutz l'sukkah. Bicha kol shivas hayamin tzarech likreis, v'lumeid b'teich ha'sukkah. Want to learn, read in the sukkah. Unless you want to say Tehillim or learn, always in the Beis HaMedrash is different. But maybe in if you need concentration, it's hard to concentrate in the sukkah. You want to medaktik in something. You're outside. I mean, not in the house. He's talking about if you want to light it outside in the garden. You have to always judge the situation. If you're able to have space that you don't have to remove them out in and out, you can leave them there the whole time, even when you're eating, it's okay. You יאכלו מחוץ לסוכה כל שתלך יסיירה. כשהאדם מצטער, מני עצמם תלך לזוג לאיש שבניסה וקביעס, אין מחויב ותלך לאיש שבסוכה וקביעס. We'll learn more about this in the next sim in Tafish Mem, but you're not mechuyev if it's a big tircha that you wouldn't do this in your house, that you want to live permanently with you live like this. You don't do it in the sukkah either. So you have to bring out the swat and bring them in because you don't have enough space because this is where you eat. You don't have to bring them in the sukkah.
Rabbi, I have a question. I did it for years ago, but I don't know if I was right or wrong. I met on the street a guy that was with me in the army in the 70s, not religious, he had 3 kids. I was very excited to see him. Maybe 25 years ago, I don't know. And then I told him, you know what holiday? He said, yes, of course. I said, can you come for 1 meal?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't believe in this. Why I have to come?
Mm-hmm.
And then I convinced him. He said, yeah, but I have one problem. I said, what the problem? He said, I come this evening and they have the football in the TVs, you know, But I bring you TV to the sukkah, no problem. I bought him TV, bought his family, and he wash and he eat, he make vikata mason. My question is, I can bring to the sukkah this kind of TV that I never had it, but just to bring him to wash and to make sukkot and to feel sukkah. He make bracha and the lulav and the chop.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know because it could be a Tasha's Buzzley.
You could bring your phone in the sukkah. You can watch Rebbe videos in the sukkah. It's the same thing.
Oh, so I did good.
Can you? I don't know. It's my question too.
What are you saying?
You bring a phone inside, it's basically the
You
same.
You did the right thing.
I did the right
You
thing.
always
You
do.
did the
I
right
had
thing.
discussion with my wife. She said, tell him to go to the dining with his wife. I said, I wanted to stand the sukkah to feel what sukkah.
Your phone has dual function.
Nothing
It's not just an
contact with him for
entertainment
years.
piece.
That's true.
But at least for one
The question
evening,
is more, can I take the
That's
phone and
what
use it to
his
watch a
wife,
movie in the
his kid
sukkah?
put kippah.
No, what if,
More than that, you shouldn't do it.
probably not.
What you shouldn't do a Tasha, but this person's one thing.
Smoking.
This is one
Smoking
thing.
allowed?
People,
Yeah. People smoke in the sukkah.
I think people smoke in the
you
sukkah.
smoke in your house?
Yeah. People smoke in the house, but in the
Yeah, go look at
Not the same.
So
You shut
it
us
says
down,
Josh, I'm sleepy. So the Alter Rebbe did sleep in the sukkah,
even marijuana is there.
And then
but why don't we?
The Shulchan Aruch, he didn't write for Chassidim. He wrote for everyone.
Seems
Chassidim, they vert from various things in the sukkah.
a real chassid sits on one 7 days and he's not sleeping.
Amol, no one slept. Very few people slept in the sukkah years ago. We'll learn soon about it. We're going to manage to learn about it the next. So why talk about it? Well, we're going to learn about it in 2 minutes.
When my father came
Siv Hey.
when my father came to America the first time, he slept in the sukkah. Somebody went ahead, took a bucket and poured out water. That was the last time. Yeah,
Wait, 770?
that was the last time.
770? Yeah, that.
He was such a
Somebody
mitzvah.
from the family?
He was such a mitzvah.
What's that?
Well, I teach him, Yerushalmi, don't sleep in the sukkah.
But he was living in Krachabad then?
Yeah.
And then Krachabad didn't?
We don't, Fahabadi did.
Yeah.
My grandson is in Chicago till today sleep in the sukkah. The 2 grandsons.
מאוד כך שם, מאוד כך מפה.
Rabbi said, let's be honest, discuss it. You have to know the halacha and the hidurim. So let's learn the. Hey, spalal am yeshem menucha b'sukkah sheyachol spalal sham bekavana terchluch b'sukkah spalal. Sheshabi yes hashana she'enim spalal b'sakneses unichas abesim spalal. If you can't go to shul, you're going to your house. Med dvarim amurim. The mocking she'enim sham b'sakneses. Vayishiyafshe leilach b'sakneses. Abel efshe lo leilach b'sakneses yelech. You don't need to sleep in the
Not sleep. Daven.
daven in the sukkah.
And so some of these people daven in the sukkah.
If you want to.
Yeah, if you want, you could.
In other words, you should not go to minyan daven in the
No,
sukkah.
if you have a shul,
With the sukkah, and they daven
shul
in the
you should go to
sukkah.
shul. But if you don't have a shul or you can't go to shul for some reason, go into the sukkah.
If I'm in 770 and I could daven in 770 downstairs in the sukkah, I daven in the sukkah.
That's because you could have a minyan also in the
No,
sukkah.
I'm saying there's a meaning in the sukkah, there's a meaning downstairs.
That's higher.
That's it. Yeah, some places have. You can go like the Shemesh Shabbos also they daven in the sukkah.
It's it.
So what's higher, shul or sukkah?
You have to go to the
What's the
shul.
bigger mitzvah?
What about if you make a shul
ברוב
in the
עם הדרת
sukkah?
מלך.
Question to show that.
ברוב עם הדרת מלך.
You have to go to shul to daven. If you can't make it to shul, or there's no shul where you are, so you go into the sukkah.
Is a shul. You make it into a shul. That's your
Huh?
shul.
That's minyan, not in this minyan.
But you make the minyan in the shul.
Not sure.
In the sukkah.
Because
He's saying it's like I'm up in I wrote like that's
Mokin
You should get
Shahid
both.
I don't
That's
think
the
so.
problem.
Because it says that the Shmuel Arina about Tefillah, you should daven in Mokin Shishirina.
They have a sukkah outside. They
Even
have,
if there's no, if you could go, if you could, and
okay.
you would go to a place
So we do
which
what the
is
Rebbe said.
to walk into the shul to daven, just to daven, even there's no minyan. If you could do that, if it's not shy for you to do it, and if you're not able to go to there at that time, so go to the sukkah. Sivav hamavla al kois. So you're doing havdalah. So Hilchos Sukkah lahavdal sham. Sheishar ma'aser sham nichas the base lahavdal sham. Havdalah is done at home. And by the way, in Chabad the minig is also to make a leisha sukkah on the after havdalah. So before you drink it.
Why
It's only kois yayin. Not everyone holds you make on a kois yayin. A chiyuv that you should do it in the sukkah to make a brach on it. Seems like havdalah gives a certain kaviyas to it. You're allowed to eat outside the sukkah a temporary
Meal, food.
meal. But also lishin afilo shinas are. Shina is more strict. Even a temporary nap puts the sukkah. Shivashina ein v'chalik bein are v'kvash l'pamim in namna melamaat v'dayi v'kach. You don't need that much sleep. Shinas kvash yishachai v'konas the sukkah b'shvila. Now, Lagabi sleeping in the sukkah, the Olam wants to hear. In Mekoimes Hakarim, in cold places. Sheyesh Tsar Lishim Besukkah Machmas Hakor. Ve'ein Lekarim B'kisosas Keroi. You don't have proper blankets and pillows to sleep in such cold weather. Ein Tzarech Lishim Besukkah. Afilu Yesh Lekarim. Even if you have blankets. You don't have place in the sukkah to put it there for all 7 days. If a person has no space to have side sleeping and eating there simultaneously, and in order for him to eat there in the morning, he's going to have to take out his blankets and pillows.
If he has a maid, she would do it.
If he would have had such a trouble, he wouldn't want to live in his house that every day he has to take out of the room, the bedroom, the things. He'd find himself another house, a bigger house. Anyone is potter. I'm just letting you know, most sukkahs are like that.
We're not.
Most sukkahs.
Chabad doesn't sleep in the sukkah, so what's the
And just halacha before we get to Chabad. Halacha that we this style is bringing from the Ramah.
Sleeping.
No, it's not about the eating. It's about mitzvah. All mitzvah potter in the sukkah. Anyone's uncomfortable sitting in the sukkah.
Eating is a priority if it's mitzvah.
If the shina is going to create a tsar, that you're going to have to bring back and forth your blankets and pillows.
It's taking away from the happiness of the holiday.
You could do it. You can go and do it, but you're potter. You're potter menadik. Sif test. Another sif, and then we'll talk a little more. Achshav noyag nahagu ha'olam lohakil b'shina shein yishena b'sukkah Iraq medak mitzvahs. Now we're going away from halacha. Is discussing the minig. The minig l'payil is now. This is already what the Ramah. This is coming from the Ramah. Originates from the Ramah that the minig is the oilam doesn't sleep in the sukkah. Only medaktik in the mitzvahs in Europe slept in the sukkah. V'yesh shalamdu. Now this became overall a common thing. They didn't sleep in the sukkah. They could bring in the blankets. They didn't do it. V'yesh shalamdu aleihem schus. Schus, the Taz gives. Shemi shenasi isha, not for a bacher, but someone married. Shechayev v'sameach es ish beregel. He's chayev to bring simcha also to his wife on sukkahs. V'noshim, todas from the sukkah. Women are potter from sukkah. So look to say shazman grabah. They're potter. Im kain im eini writes a lifish mi ishtoi mikidvar mitzvah. If he doesn't want to separate from his wife, it's called a dvar mitzvah. So Isaac b'mitzvah Potter mitzvah acheres. It's Isaac in the mitzvah of being sameach ishtei beregel. She doesn't want to come to the sukkah, so
She
therefore,
doesn't have a chiyuv to go in the sukkah even.
right?
What
So
about
you're
to light?
doing a
What about
mitzvah
to
of
do
simcha
kiddush
that
in
you're
the
part
sukkah?
of a mitzvah.
What about to light? I think
It's not because of
Kappa.
mitzvah. A different patur. Because you're Isaac and mitzvah patim is 1 second. Alkeinu patim yishina b'sukkah b'layla. At night, if it's during the day, you have to sleep in the sukkah if you want to take a nap. Afilim
Wait,
ishte
what?
ein
One
etohira.
more time.
According to this, it would be it's only by night. Film ishte eine tahir, even if she's a nida, she's not tahir. Kamakim shayich simcha kishabayla misyachid in mecheda echad. There is a simcha. A wife feels security when her husband is there in the room, and she wants that he should sleep in the room over there. So he's going to go to the sukkah, and she's there. So therefore he stays in upstairs in the room. So this is a limit chus for those that are married. So Lamaisa, the Rama already recorded. I think we spoke about this years ago, but the Rama already recorded like in Moshe and the Rama that the minig was ein yishein in besukah, only medactic ones. The question is to why
What's medactic?
people that are careful,
Particular, not
scrupulous,
mitzvah,
and mitzvahs.
all the mitzvahs.
And that's the way it was for a very long time, that most people didn't sleep in sukkah, the Rav, and certain big Shemayim, they would make that extra effort to sleep in the sukkah.
Or if you have a lot of money, you can make it nice.
The last 30, 40 years, it became very much of prevalent sleeping in the sukkah. People have more bigger sukkahs and nicer sukkahs. People bring in heaters. People do old kommeni zachen. And it became much more common. And it's not just now only medactic and mitzvahs. It's many more people are doing it. More hamayin doing it. Someone told me in the Bolter community, that the Litvish community, they still don't sleep in the sukkah. So it depends where. That really was always the fact that certain Chabad Chassidim, not everyone, certain Chabad Chassidim didn't sleep in the sukkah, was pasha that the minig was they didn't sleep in the sukkah here. Question was, Chabad Chassidim, you're so machar mahader in other aspects that they don't even want to drink a cup of water out of the sukkah. So why don't you sleep in the sukkah? It's an important mitzvah. So there came many chassidische biyurim, chassidish explanations that the sukkah shines a great light of makif and debina, and you're asleep, you can't really control your way you act, and you're afraid maybe you won't act respectful to the sukkah. So this is chassidische things. These chassidische things don't take away from the mitzvah of sukkah. The fact is that they're always relying on the minig and not sleeping in the sukkah. There were big chassidim that slept in the sukkah. There were a masmid in Europe. There were some big chassidim that slept in the sukkah. But for the most part, people didn't sleep. It wasn't because they weren't sleeping because of a chassidish. They weren't sleeping because pasha that wasn't the minig. It was. And by the way, there was really cold. Sukkah's time in Russia, Ukraine, these places. It's snowing a lot of times.
You think this was something? It's
like
nothing.
I told you story, my grandma. You can know today also. You hear stories in Moscow. It's snowing this time of the year. It gets very cold now.
They clean up the schach.
Now Russia and Ukraine are fighting. They're both trying to get the last licks before the winter sets in. So
when Trump is elected, he said he's going to clear it before he's even there.
Yeah, right.
That's what he said. I believe him.
So Lamaisa,
he's a master negotiator.
So Lamaisa, it's gonna.
Don't worry.
There is it's very cold. Even over here in America, look outside over here. This weather, the cold weather here, freezing. Minadin, someone's potter from sukkah. There's nothing to discuss. Someone wants to go and sleep in the sukkah, go sleep in the sukkah, kala kavad. But you can't claim that other people don't sleep in the sukkah are doing shalei kedin. And most people do not have a sukkah which is large enough that they can leave their bed there, they can leave the cot there, and have the meal there.
Can you leave the bed there while you're eating? Is that covered for the sukkah while you're eating?
Not a problem. But you should have it big enough that you're able to have.
Or have a separate one for eating, one for sleep.
But if you have to move it out, like we learned over here clearly in Shulchan Aruch, your potter can sleep in the sukkah you have to eat. This is the main yisoid of like many things that Amol people are making, now more people are Mahadir making. For example, Kemach Yasham. In Europe, the oilam was not machmer in Kemach Chodesh, specifically to have Kemach Yasham. They were not makbid in it. Most people are not makbid in Yasham. It's already recorded in many places. The Bach brought a limit schus as to why the oilam is being makel, and Taz discusses it, and the Paiskim discusses it. There was Echad Be'ir, certain gar, big Yerushalayim but for the most people, majority of people didn't. I think it was in the early 80s, maybe 1980, the Rebbe one time, if I bring in the comment, that he said that he doesn't know if, when he grew up, he said that he doesn't remember anyone being machmer. And even now, like in the streets of Brooklyn, go around, how many people are being machmer? But today, it's not the case.
What's Yashan? What does that mean?
Huh?
What does it even mean?
What? Which
What's
word?
the definition of Kemach Yashan?
There is wheat, the wheat that grew before the day that the carbon omer was
Before
brought.
Sukkah?
No,
16th
second day of Pesach.
Okay.
Was brought a special carbon in the Beit Hamikdash called the carbon omer. When that carbon omer was brought, it was matter all the wheat that was grew before it. Any wheat that grew after that date is also to partake and eat from until the next year.
Until the next Sukkah.
The next Pesach.
It's Pesach.
So that's called Chadash, is the new wheat that grew. It's Aser.
You want to eat for Shabbos. You need to eat for
Chadash
Shabbos.
Aser Torah, and then you would use the old wheat. They would have the wheat that they stored up.
Okay.
So, but however, today, many hashgachas are careful with it. You see on the package, Kemach Yashan, or the store, the bakery, or what a restaurant will advertise in the front, we use Kemach Yashan. That wasn't always the case. This wasn't always the case. And I think even till today, I'm not sure if every company, every hechsher is concerned about it. Certain ones will be concerned about it, either because their Rav Machshir himself holds it's important, or because they're worried about the client. They want to cater to clientele that's concerned about it. But there are many that are not careful about it. There are different hotlines today. These are certain things that people, the oilam was makel for various reasons, and there is makom lahachmir. There's no question about it. There's makom lahachmir. A machmir tavel bracha, it says in the Shulchan Aruch Minagei Chadash. However, these are certain things that some people stick to. I know in Satmar they skip very strongly that they're not being makbid at all. And they go to the bakery, they say, "I want the chadash," like the show that they dafke. They don't want. They want to keep to their tradition. They're not concerned with it. Obviously, by the way, if we know that something is actually kemach chadash, it's us. You know, the kud of the het of the bach is that most of the wheat that the bread is being made from is from yasham.
I don't know.
If you know befedish, it's chadash. The problem.
But what made it knows.
Again. By the way, there are poiskim that are mekel b'chlava. Chadash only applies the whole Isser Chadash only Eretz Yisrael.
These issues.
Only in Eretz Yisrael. That sheet you can rely upon everywhere you are. Well, Lamaisa, that's a das yachid. So we rely on that sheet together with the fact that the wheat that's going around is really all yasham, because the wheat doesn't. You don't get the wheat that was just cut now. Wheat's cut a long time ago.
But we don't have korban omer these days.
So the day itself is not there.
Or just the day without
the day. What the machlekes that we have today is only whether is a machlekes Rishonim whether it applies in chutz la'aretz or not. If I know befedish somehow I have a field and I own a field and I know befedish this is from Chodesh, the problem. Even in chutz la'aretz, because the limut schus of the Bach is based in part the Bach and other achreinim that most wheat that comes to us is and it gets mixed together and it's batal b'roi, but I don't remember the exact svaris over there. It's important that even though today we are mahader and machmer in various things, we build mikvahs today with so many chumas in them, we have to just remember not to look down at those people that are still erlich people that are not keeping to the old minhagim, the old things, and are not so makbid. But that's the way they weren't. They were never always makbid in these circles. Okay.
The Lutzak is on Makbid on Yoshan, but the Hasidim aren't. None of the Hasidim are.
But the Litvisha started that only 40 years ago. They didn't have this over.
Baron Soloveitchik started it.
Okay, so the Iron started it. And what year did he start it? This thing took over in America in recent times. Years ago, when you were younger, they weren't being makbid on Kemach. Yashan. They weren't being makbid on Kemach Yashan. This is a very recent phenomenon. Today already we're brought up with it, but it's a recent phenomenon. Not that I don't think a lot of all hashkachas are concerned about it. Those Litvish and those that are very concerned with it are going to make sure that they find out and they ask those questions. Is it, just like someone's careful about chalav yisrael pasul, they're going to go around asking kemach yashin before they eat in a restaurant or a bakery, whatever it is. So, which
in Israel, we want to do this.
Israel, Eretz Yisrael, 100%. There's no het in Eretz Yisrael. You have to know that. You come to Eretz Yisrael,
if it's mixed with
Eretz Yisrael is 100%. If it's Chodesh, it's a Isra Torah.
If it's mixed with Yashin?
What about if I get Lebanese or Syrian or Lebanese?
If it's not part of the Eretz Yisrael, then it's like Chutz La'aretz. Areas that are, some parts that are outside Eretz Yisrael, the legal land of Medinat Yisrael are still Israel. And not every part of Medinat Yisrael is part of Eretz Yisrael, like Eilat and things like that. Not everything has it. There's like Gaza.
Gaza is Eretz Yisrael 100%.
What?
100% Eretz Yisrael.
Now it is.
All of it? All of it.
Because you had the Moloch worshippers over there, and Hashem said you got to get rid of them from my land.
Right, but
he doesn't want those people there. We have to destroy them.
The thing is, it's King and Goy.
People in that area were Moloch worshippers.
Okay.
As ik beetje Israël, een beetje in Konnet, en je put a new sign, je hoort, Kemach Yashon, Pas Yashon.
I do almond flour Yisrael, so I'm good on all of that.
That's Yashon.
I do almond flour.
Okay, the next sif is not really so negeya. Let's turn to sif Yud Aleph. We already mentioned earlier, it's okay to eat a temporary meal, chutz l'sukkah. What does that mean, a temporary meal? How do we define that? Everyone is up
according to the Shulchan Aruch, or
yes, kabeya, size of an egg, which is like 2 ounces. People tap into their mouth.
A snack, like
they're outside the home, snack, pop in, a mouthful of food. Malay piv hu kabeya. Shem beis habliya machzik yoysa kabeya. When it's an issue, the pass hasuyim mechamishas minim or betashos or mishas minim, whether it's bread or any other dish, even a pasta or something cooked, made from 5 grains, anything made from the 5 grains. V'shar minim acholim, any other foods, vein tzarech loimer minim peris, and definitely fruits. A lot of those fruits. If you look kavelam sudasan, your kaveh sudan, I'm going to sit down and eat a whole meal of these foods. It's only an achilas ari.
Wait, what's achilas ari?
Snack.
Eating out.
So what about if you have a muffin for breakfast and a glass of tea inside your house? Is that okay?
Minhadin, it's not a problem. The mezainis, the muffin, depends if it's 2 ounces. Up to 2 ounces.
What about if you're a bigger person?
Small muffin. The tiny muffins are okay. Like when you make at home, make those small muffins.
Let's say you're a bigger
stores sometimes also sell the mini muffins. That's okay. These massive muffins that they sell in the bakery, those are like
that's a $5 muffin.
Yeah, that's 3 kabeyas is probably there.
And you're saying the little one is okay?
The little one's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but you cannot eat a little one and be satisfied. So you have to have 5 little ones. So you're eating already a lot.
Yeah, you're sitting down, going to the sukkah. Motor lishtes kol hamashkin. Chutz l'sukkah afilu yayin.
Wow.
Afilu shoyse yoyse menevius. We drink more than an avius.
You said before, but you make a leish basuk by Abdullah.
We're going to talk about yayin soon. That when you're kaveh yourself to drink wine, you should go into the.
What does that mean, kaveh?
Like you're sitting yourself down. I want to have a drink.
Permanent. Oh, you're saying if you're just having on the go.
Right, on the go. But you're saying, let me sit down, meet my friend. We're gonna have a drink together.
And if I bring in or
drink, yeah. That's a different story.
If you already mentioned wine in the sukkah, the Alter Rebbe write it every day at Chol Hamoed, you have to drink out of the base in the sukkah. People don't realize it.
Yeah?
כל המחמר על עצמוי לשליש חוץ סוכר אפילו מים, הרי זה משובח. Anyone who doesn't eat anything out of the
Is
sukkah,
that on every holiday?
even drinking out of the
And all
sukkah,
the chagim?
הרי זה משובח is praiseworthy. There is such a thing, al pi nigla, not al pi chassidus, pi the Gemara and Mishnayos, there's an Indian, eat as much as you could in the sukkah. Hare is a meshubach.
Even
Not
drink.
chayev. Even drink. You're not chayev. You're not chayev, but hare is a meshubach. If you went in with that drink and that mini muffin, you went in, you were yaitza, hare is a meshubach. You got an extra special
Blessing.
It's like
How
a
about in
chocolate.
these
You eat as much
days-
as you want.
That is a god of the minik in Chabad circles that they do everything in the sukkah.
These days we take the kids to different places for 6-7 hours. You have to bring food. What are you going to do?
My father told me
Okay.
flew in from Moed Sukkot to the Rebbe to get Pasteur. From when he left the house,
Didn't-
he
didn't
get
touch
home
anything.
to the Rebbe, it's like 17 hours, he didn't drink. No,
From where? From where?
Okay, but he's not mechuyev.
Dirty
He's
throat.
not-
Oh.
So,
no.
He's head of the door. He's for sure he's one of the.
The Maya said he did not drink. He told me,
Wow.
I don't saw my
are you allowed
faith
to
the
fa-
Rebbe.
are you allowed to fast in Yom Tov?
Halamon.
Fasting. Even
Halamon.
Chol Hamoed, זה-
שאלה.
Yom Tov.
Okay, that's his personal hider, right?
Personal
Someone else
hider.
can't do it. They can't do it.
מהדין מן המעל.
Maybe Alal's going to build sukkah soon.
Open the roof and put the sun.
Windows.
So the sukkah that they have the sukkah mobile, that's if it's stationary, that's good, right? If it moves, you can't sit and make a bracha, right? Obviously.
Send the car.
The dinner dagola. What do we have for dinner dagola?
Still, I saw no idea.
I was reading over here, Roby. It had sukkah on the top.
You can't like it.
Nice because we shagola. Let's see. Tapesh, thank you. Tapesh Chafkes.
What did it say over that? It's about the sukkah on
No, it's copy.
a
Mobile,
horse buggy.
What is it?
Ronus.
It's
good.
But it's time.
No problem. You're saying while you're moving around, it's okay.
יש מצוותם וסוכת.
Yeah.
יש.
I heard the guy say, why Chabad sleep in the sukkah? Because if yes, you see the barbecue snacks say, ישנת היום? בוא כנס לשם.
No, I didn't get the punchline. What is it? And yes, that was the punchline.
ישנת היום?
You're allowed to sit in a moving sukkah.
They said today, come talk about sukkah.
You're allowed to sit in a moving sukkah.
It's also
And eat and make a.
Yosheba afilu v'shah shasvina mahaleches.
Even though she's
In other words, you can make a leish sukkah while it's moving,
Yeah.
even though.
Shasukkah ain't tzrichli is diras kva. Well, diras aray.
Where do we know this from?
It's a Mishnah. The Mishnah in Sefer
Dining covered was moving while they were in the midbar, or they were staying in one place. How did it work?
Like also moving, yeah, you're right. It's a good marker.
Okay.
Didn't think about it.
Yeah, they went from place to place. Oh, this on an kavod give us a lot of problems.
The whole mitzvah of sukkah is
The Ananic Kavod.
Yitzias Mitzrayim.
It's protected us. That was protection.
We find
No, it's
Rabbi
a struggle.
Isai, we find. Let's just read another line. If you're conveyed, if you sit down to have a drink on wine or other drinks that it's common to sit down and have a drink. Didn't say that people sit down and have a beer together. So then you're supposed to go into the sukkah. But ain't sukkah. The shia is tafel, secondary to eating. When you eat during the day, you make a bracha on the eating. You don't make a bracha on the shia itself. So birchas leisha b'sukkah shebeirach al achilas shachas. You made in the morning achilas leisha b'sukkah in that sukkah. You made a bracha leisha b'sukkah.
How many times a day do you say?
You're poiter the shia of a whole day. Every time you have a meal, you make a leisha b'sukkah.
What about mizonah?
You don't make a bracha on the shin in the sukkah. Or the teal just sitting in the sukkah and they hang out in the sukkah. Harbe ben achil shtiv shin atil kam kimshi kulam mishachim tfeil achil sheikam tishiv sukkah. Even if you left the sukkah, you came back later, still putter.
Well, you didn't bench it, right?
Yeah. If you bench and you left and you didn't have a mind, you're coming back, it's different. Now, even if you ate and drank before the meal, before you went to shul, you went in there, and you walked around in the sukkah, took a drink, you don't make a leish of a sukkah. Because you're making even if you're kivei yourself to drink. Because achil later on retroactively goes on that. But I want to tell you something. That's what the chiddush I want to tell you earlier. Havdalah ala kois, you're mechuyev to make in the sukkah. Because you're being kivei yourself ala yayin. But making a leish of a sukkah is a chiddush. And Chabad the meaning is they make a leish of a sukkah on the havdalah. Some people, what they do is that some people understand it because you're planning on having the Malava Malka. So it may be kedai to bring on the table something Zionist, something you have in mind. The relationship was going on that also.
So if you do the Havdalah, you have it in mind.
What about as far as when do you make a relation by kiddush or by hamotzi?
The Makadish makes by kiddush, and the people that are eating hamotzi make by hamotzi. They're not making kiddush themselves.
They shouldn't be going to listen to kiddush by leisha. They shouldn't answer on me.
If they're having challah, no, they make on the challah. Now.
And if you're just having bread, you say it before or after?
After the hamoitzi. Right after hamoitzi leisha sukkah, you look up at the schach. Now, wanted to say something a little vart. There's two aspects of sukkah. Sukkah is heishra in kedur. You have to be there by ifn shakviyas. The sukkah itself, you can't make it too permanent. If it has to let the rain in, and it has to be able to be a temporary structure. The sukkah itself has to be built in a temporary way. Schach has to be built temporary. If the sukkah is built permanent, it's a problem. So there's a lot of halachis how you have to build it. You can't make it like a house. You can't make yourself a roof and build a roof. I nailed in the boards and myself. I have a sukkah. That's not a sukkah, it's a house. It has to be a sukkah. On the other hand, you have to eat in it and live in it like as if it's your house. Teishu can't do it. How do we put them both together? The inyan of going into the sukkah is that we take all our gashmiistic things, chila, shia, ashina, artil, all our gashmias, and we show it's all temporary. We show it's all ari. We do it in an aritic place. I think we're showing that our whole gashmiistic life is array, and it all belongs to Hashem.
What means array?
It's temporary.
Oh, okay.
It's temporary. We do it in a temporary structure. And temporary. It's not permanent. Well, the world is not permanent. The things we do are not permanent. That's the reminder of
just the mitzvahs are permanent.
Sukkah is a very unique mitzvah. We have a lot of simcha. We have simcha mitzad Yom Tiv. Samachta b'chagech is every Yom Tiv. Sukkah is a special thing by Lulav. It says that after the mitzvah lulav is samachta mefashim alekechem, the simcha connected to the mitzvah lulav. The third thing in is simcha. The nisuch ha-mayim, besides for pouring wine in the mizbeach, they pour water in the mizbeach, that elicited another level of simcha. That's why there was simcha's Beit She'eva. So those are the three levels of simcha there are in sukkah. So sukkah is from the most joyful Yom Tovim. Add that to the point where it says that Misha lo yirah simchas Beit She'eva in the Beis HaMikdash lo yirah simcha b'yamav. So it was a tremendous amount of simcha with many different explanations as to why exactly was it the Nisach Hamayim elicit such a simcha. That was the.
I heard nice word. Samachta b'chagecha, v'hayta samech.